doesn't want to come out. There we go. I think I got it out. Can't tell for sure. Stuck me good though.
Oh, so Juanita, what I was saying is I brought my sharpening stuff. If you have something that you're sharpening or your chisels around, or if you just want to watch, I can do those. I hit my chisel against the clamp a little bit ago, and so I realized I probably have to resharpen this chisel. And there's some other ones I can work on. Still not working?
No, it's your camera audio. Test, test.
Turn your volume down. Alright, so hopefully I still have you, Juanita. What I was saying was that I brought my sharpening pieces here, and I did hit my chisel against something earlier, so I probably could sharpen them a little bit. Let me test it so I see if I can hear it. Let me test it so I see if I can hear it. Oh yeah, it's working. Yeah, so I have my sharpening pieces here. Let me zoom in. Appreciate that, Chan. Welcome. You want to make as long a strokes as you possibly can. Try to keep it at a 45-degree angle. If you feel your angle start to change, start another stroke again and get your angle right. Apply a fair amount of pressure to it as well. I'm not super happy with how the blade looks on the end, but it feels like it's getting very sharp. I'm gonna go on the other side and just give it a quick like brush one direction, maybe twice on this side, not too firmly. That's just the way they taught me how to do it. It's sharp, but it's not razor sharp yet, so we're gonna work it a little bit more. Important that you have some sort of a liquid to strop with. Those little bits of metal that keeps it from getting sharp. That's what I do. I would go from this stone here. We'll start with your 800. I'm on the 2000 right now. I didn't go to the 800 because this edge is pretty sharp already. A couple strokes with the 800, and I'll look at it, kind of see if you're unevenly sharpening it. That's unless you have some sort of a jig right here, like a 45-degree angle jig, which I really don't recommend those. Something to hold it at a 45-degree angle. Some people do that. Um, yeah, you can use water. Uh, just that water and metal are not, they're not best friends. So I don't typically use water-based stropping just because I know oil is not going to degrade the metal, whereas the water, if it gets in some kind of grain in your metal, and you know how it is, it rusts everything. You got to deal with rust. But yeah, you can use water, alcohol, mineral spirits, denatured alcohol. Just be careful; those are chemicals. So, you know, and depending on the bevel on your chisel, like these beveled chisels sometimes have like a little micro bevel. So doing the flat side a couple times, real flat, helps get your blade really sharp. So I do it with every chisel. I do like one or two strokes on the other side. I sharpened the first chisel I sharpened, it was a chisel from the like Walmart, and I wanted to know, could you get a Walmart chisel to be really really good. So I got a plastic handled Walmart chisel, and it was my favorite chisel for like 2 years because I had it so sharp. I worked it till it was like a professional chisel. That was when I realized how nice it is to have very sharp tools. Something about this edge, it must have been hit with a nail or something, so it took a nick on one side of it. Start with your 800, 400, or 800. Do a couple strokes at a 45-degree angle on that. Then strop it, get rid of the grains on there, and then do the higher grit paper. If the edge doesn't seem right, go back to the lower grit number. Do it again and come back up to the high. I just felt that blade hit my finger, so I know it's getting there. It looks pretty sharp too. I'm scared to actually check this on my skin because it might just cut right into my skin. But the way I check it is like with my hand hair. If it takes the hairs off and they pop up, it's sharp, and it is doing that now. I'm picky though. I'm gonna do my other chisel real quick, just fine sharpen, because it hit that clamp earlier when I was chiseling something. This job's side is a little bit more dirty. Oh yeah. I flipped it on its side because my paper's lost a little bit of its grit. Oh yeah, I can hear it cutting through my hair, so yeah. Sorry to gross you out, but educational purposes, you see it's taking the hair right off my arm. You kind of can see the edge of the blade is very, very sharp. That's where you want it to be. Let's put that aside for a minute. I am going to use a power tool today. I'm going to use a bandsaw so I can get some nice precise cuts on the tops of these. I have my scribe tool here marked out to the exact depth of this blowout. I'm going to actually cut only as much as you see is blown out right there. Let me get it right in front of the camera. You see that edge is blown out there. I've taken this down to that depth, and I'm going to make a line across this side on both of these. I'm going to cut that out with a bandsaw. What's up, Santorian? Welcome. What I'm up to today is I just did some tool sharpening. Now I'm going to use the bandsaw and remove, I don't know, it's about like 1/8 of an inch from the top of these blocks to get rid of that blowout that I got yesterday. And then I'm going to cut some pieces of cherry stock that I got here. I got the scrap piece. I'm going to make a cherry face for either side of the mallet because I just think it'll look good. Got to make stuff sexy looking. So, well, where was I? That's about right. The one on the right, I'm not so sure about. I don't like the angle of it right now. Hey, Vitaly, what's up, man? Welcome, Vitaly, friend of the show. All right, now we got those two cut. We got also, these are the 3 and 4 piece of the mallet. I found my 4th piece. I lost that for a little bit and kind of disorganized. Now we're gonna do the same thing with these, because these gotta also have the same angle. That's good, man. Gotta make that money. Gotta make that money. Is that what they call like a few dollars in Ireland? A few bob? I'm just curious. Educate me. Is that like a slang term in Ireland? Okay. All right. Learn a new thing every day, man. Other thing I want to do is I want to cut the head at an angle, so I got to take in all the sides to the same angle. So what's my other mallet at? Figure out what this mallet is. This looks like it's just slightly like 94 degrees. It's like 92 degrees. So it's almost straight up and down. Make it a little easier to cut. I'll do it like 90, 95, 96 degrees. Yeah, and I'm worked on the handle a little. I just got to sand it down and file some areas of it too. Yeah. So yeah, pretty much. But I don't rush, so it could be, how I told you yesterday. I am gonna use the bandsaw, so that will take some of the time out of it and also some mistakes um, from these cuts. So I won't make as many. That handsaw I have, I can use it for some crude cuts, but for exacting cuts, it's not great. I'm gonna use my other protractor. Um, yeah, we didn't expect to have international customers yet, so we're not set up to deliver overseas. I guess we need to work on that, but appreciate you checking into like the website and stuff, man. That's BettyBakerCandles.com. That's our spot. Heather says she can fix that. See my lines there. Now I got one more to do over here. Not super psyched about that cut. I'll just have to cut inside that line. There we go. Now we got our two heads shaped right there. Same thing with the other pieces too, though. All the pieces have to have that same angle. It's going to get a little tricky, I think. With everything, you think it's going to be simple, and it always ends up a little bit tricky. Oh yeah, it is a great advertising tool. We just started, so just kind of got things underway. Um, but we are definitely like it's all about synergy between social media and your product. If you have a product and our product is candles, and I'm gonna make soap soon. Oh, thanks, Vitaly. Yeah, that's what we want to blow up. We struggled long enough not to complain. I'm very thankful. Great. Now all my pieces are like this, and I want to make sure that they eyeballing them, they look relatively close. I'm sure everything won't be perfect, but you aim for perfection. Oh yeah, definitely. Everyone likes to see trees bearing fruit. It is difficult. It is hard work. We know that it's not going to come overnight. Just like this YouTube channel, which basically has been in development for a year, almost to the week, you know, uh, or like at least to the month. All right, guys, it's gonna get loud. Let me put the mic on this table. Yep, Heather manages my Heather manages my technical stuff and makes sure that my stream is being, you know, managed. Obviously, if you were here for the beginning, you would see it gets tricky sometimes. The other thing we could do is we could put a dowel through this just to make sure that it's really secure. We might do that after at the very end. I'm pretty confident in this thing just being. Oh, a lot of questions about the bandsaw. With your bandsaw, probably, get a new blade. They're fairly cheap. Whenever I get this blade is a little bit old. I could feel it wanting to turn on me, and when you can't cut curves with a bandsaw, really, man. You cut straights, and if you try to cut curves with it, it's gonna pop on you. Yeah, I've had to replace the blade many, many times in here. This is a Rikon 10. It's a low end bandsaw. Inside, you see the wheels. You can see some of the sawdust goes inside there too. But the wheels spin. The blade's pretty easy to replace in these. All right, so now that I got all this stuff, what I want to do is lay out the cherry ends that I'm going to put on because I want those to be laid out. I'm going to glue up the mallet first. I'm going to work on this handle, glue up the mallet, and then I'll have the other pieces ready to glue up on the ends, and that's going to be key. So, since they're going to be based on these outside pieces, I'm going to use this piece of scrap first. I'm going to label them A and B. Wonder if I should scoot that down. I might get more. I try to use my woods the absolute most efficient. So I'm going to move this layout down so that I don't waste a bunch of wood on the end. This piece A. Call this piece B. Double check because you always measure twice. Yeah, if anything, I want them to be a little bit big. Oh, okay. So also make sure that your platform is level on your bandsaw. If your platform is has any spill to it at all, it's gonna turn. You're gonna be going back and forth, and especially if it's not tight. So make sure your platform is level and tight. Oh yeah, I see. Yeah. Those mine, I think I read about mine on wood the like the forestry forum, which is a woodworking forum, and they said get this one for entry level. It's the best, and I haven't had to use. I don't do a lot of band sawing anyway, just basics. So I haven't had to move up. I was blessed enough for a professional woodworker to let me use his shop one time, and that's the only time I saw that kind of a setup, a professional bandsaw, professional table saw jigs, right angle jigs and all that. All right, so now we got our pieces cut out. This is the B piece. It's gonna look like that. All right. And I don't need to show you what the A is, just a reflection of B. It's the same thing. Hopefully my A side fits too. I didn't really check it. A little big is fine. And this is the A side. And that's what it's gonna look like when I'm finished. I think it's gonna look sexy. I do want to sand these down a little bit with some sandpaper. Nah, I don't think so. Oh yeah, I'm gonna use a dowel probably after I put everything together. I'll take a 3/4 inch dowel. If it feels like, I don't know, I'm gonna go on instinct. If I feel like I need to put a 3/4 inch dowel through the middle of it, I will, but I think I'm pretty secure with my lamination skills, and if I apply, hundreds of pounds of pressure per square inch, that glue is going to be tighter than the wood grain. The bond is going to be tight. Router is just too. My router is too crude of a tool for this kind of application, in my opinion. What I might do is I might laminate these first, laminate A to its piece. I have a small router plane, but I don't have a smaller router. No, there are smaller ones, but I don't have one of those. Yeah, I think I might actually laminate these and show y'all how I do that. And then the main hammer will get laminated together with these when they're prepped. Because then I can work the pieces and get them nice and even. So let me show you how I'm going to do that. This will probably be it after I do this. You got your glue in a mustard bottle. You got your piece. And then what I'm going to do to keep from injuring this head is I'm going to actually put a shim on here. So one of the pieces I cut out from the ash, I'm going to use that as a shim to spread the weight distribution out. Maybe even two of them. I don't want to get glue on this thing. That's cherry, black cherry. The more squeeze out, more pressure you put on, and the more squeeze out you're going to get. It's going to become more of a pain. But you have to get squeezed out to know that you have good like tension on it. I hope that shim comes off of there. But that's helping spread that pressure across the entire surface. It's not as key to this piece as it is to when you put the hammer together to be under tremendous pressure. When I put the hammer together, I'm going to put big pipe clamps on it. I'm going to clamp it from both sides. It's going to be clamped very, very tightly. Much more tightly than I clamp these things. Me too. I love it too, Juan. It's like I was looking at ordering it today. I just can't afford to buy a whole lot more of it. And the more pressure I put down on it, of course, the more squeeze out I get. I don't want to get, I got a little glue on that shim. I don't want that to happen. We do, but it's still expensive. I'm down to my last slab of black walnut. It's a live edge slab. I had these 4 12-foot long boards and I made a couple tables out of it. Now all I got is this one walnut slab left. Let me show you that because that's a great piece of wood. Oops. A little dusty. But this is my last piece of my last slab of black walnut. This was from an old growth tree that was over 100 years old. A little dusty, but you can see it's brown all the way through. Like you don't have any sapwood on here at all, and that's live edge too. Yeah, I get to do show and tell on here too. How much fun. Thanks, man. Yeah, I get like that way about wood too, man. All right, so now you guys see what we got. We got our 2 end pieces here gluing up. These are the outsides of the mallet, and then the mallet itself we have sized. All the pieces are now right how we want them, and it's all about putting it in the right part of the handle. And then when these outside handle pieces are finished gluing up tomorrow morning, I'll test them against the sides, and tomorrow when we do the stream, we'll work on the handle and attach those sides to the mallet. So I'm excited. It's gonna look good. Hopefully the plate idea works. I can see this one's already moved a little bit, but it's all right. Once it's sanded up, I think it's gonna look real nice. I'd love to even carve something into it or burn a symbol into it. That would be nice. Yeah, making anything out of walnut, it's great. I rushed into getting really nice wood and kind of destroyed it when I first learned to do woodworking. So make sure that like you have a definite plan on what either that or just put the wood aside until you've really learned how to do things and you're ready to work with expensive wood. Because there is ways to ruin it. And that slab right there used to be 12 feet. It probably should still be 12 feet. I should still have all those slabs, and I could make an entire kitchen table, you know. But I cut them and use them for various things. No regrets and all that, but regrets. I love you all. Appreciate you being here. Vitaly, friend of the show. Shout out. Shout out to Juanita. Shout out to, if he's still here, uh, Santorian. Seen him before too. So friend of the show, Santorian. Yeah, we have some regulars in here tonight. Appreciate y'all. It's Dad's workshop. Mental massage, woodworking class, Q&A, ASMR, NBD. Here's all my little scraps. We're going to use these for cooking. And I really hope to see y'all very soon. It's Dad's workshop signing off. Appreciate you. Love you too, Juanita. Give somebody who you love a hug. Every day we have is a day we can do something, and I always try to be a better person every day, and that's what I go by. Try to do something big every day. Love you all. Bye.